Welcome back to Night Vision. With more and more people turning up to test for H1N1 infection, the King Institute in Chennai has been facing a crisis. They have now run out of testing kits.
The King Institute of Preventive Medicine in Guindy has been facing a crisis of sorts. Ever since reports of H1N1 deaths in Pune, there has been an 8-fold increase in the number of people turning up at the institute for tests. And the institute ran out of kits on Sunday. However, the Deputy Director of the institute, Dr. Gunasekaran, said that the government was taking steps to address the issue.
Government is making all efforts to get the kit. Already they have made necessary arrangements and our people have started getting kits. And I don't think we are going to face such crisis. We are waiting for the kits only, approximately 7 to 8 into 1,000. So that will be the initial thing, and we have started working it out further also.
The King Institute lab was earlier given 2 testing kits costing 1 lakh rupees each by the National Institute of Communicable Diseases. Each kit contained 200 individual testing kits. Health authorities say the crisis situation is the same elsewhere in the country.
Not only King Institute, because of this particular sudden spurt, large number of people came to King Institute for testing. That is why King Institute ran out of stock. Not only King Institute, but also various institutes in the country. They are having this problem. Today we are getting the stock.
In addition to the kits being provided by the government, the lab has also placed orders with a private company. Very soon, they expect the scarcity to be over. In Chennai with Nithila and camera person Damodaran, Evelyn Matthew for NDTV Hindu.
Ever since news relating to the H1N1 deaths spread across the city, people flocked at the pharmacies to buy surgical masks. Many medical stores in the city have run out of these masks.
Wearing a surgical mask has been publicized as the basic precautionary step to prevent the spread of the dreaded H1N1 virus. And soon after the H1N1 deaths were reported, people in the city resorted to bulk purchase of these masks. With the result, many medical stores have now run out of stocks.
But ana நேத்து மட்டும் ஒரு 10-20 பேர் வந்து அந்த 200 மாஸ்க் ஃபுல்லா இருக்கதெல்லாம் வாங்கிட்டு போய்ட்டாங்க. இப்போ ஸ்டாக்கே கிடையாது எங்க கிட்ட. பட் ஆனா மார்னிங்ல இருந்து ஒரு 30-40 பேர் வந்து அந்த மாஸ்க் கேட்டிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அது வந்து வெறும் டிஸ்போசபிள் மாஸ்க் தான் மேடம். ஒரு ஒன் டைம் யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு தூக்கி போட்டுறலாம்.
3 ஃபார்மசில இது வரைக்கும் ட்ரை பண்ணிருக்கோம். எல்லாத்துலயுமே ஈவினிங் தான் வரும்னு சொல்றாங்க. ஸ்கூல்ல வந்து அவேர்னஸ் சொன்னாங்க, அதனால இது வாங்க வந்திருக்கோம்.
அதுக்கு என்ன மாதிரி மாஸ்க் வாங்கணும்னு
தெரியல, ஸ்கூல்ல சொன்னாங்க, மெடிக்கல்ல கேட்டிங்கனா சொல்லுவாங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க.
The WHO recommends a triple-layered N95 mask as the best precaution against H1N1 virus. But they are very expensive and have to be imported. Authorities at the King Institute say that a normal triple-layered mask will be the best replacement.
There are 3 types of mask, namely the simple mask or the ordinary mask or the paper mask, and you have the triple layer mask and you have the N95 mask. In the shops you might be getting the triple layered mask. This mask gives a moderate protection and it has to be discarded very properly after usage, and daily the mask has to be changed. And you also have this paper mask or the ordinary mask which has a different configuration and is being used by the public. But what I will say, it is not that much good when compared to the triple layer mask.
Apart from wearing masks, health authorities advise strict personal hygiene as a safety precaution to prevent the spread of the disease.
Choosing the right mask is of utmost importance while trying to protect yourself from swine flu. Doctors say that a single layered mask like this one here is not protection enough. They recommend the use of a triple layered mask. In Chennai with camera person Damodaran and Bertilla, this is Nithila for NDTV Hindu.
We're now joined in our studio here by Shabir Ahmed. He's one of our many reporters who have been tracking this story over the past few days and most of today. And we're also joined by Dr. S. Ilango. He's Director of Public Health from his office at Tenapet. We'll first go over to Dr. Ilango. Thank you, sir, very much for joining us. This is Jennifer Arul here, and I'd like to first of all ask you, how are you going to find out the source of this particular boy and where he got his H1N1 from?
The particular boy from Velacheri, actually under epidemiological perspective, we understand that he might have got the infection from his father. We had the history that his father gone to Singapore and a month ago, and the child got fever on the 1st of August itself. They have delayed by giving a treatment by the local doctors, and they took the boy to the nearby hospital, where they found something wrong with the system of the boy. The boy had diarrhea and the urine output became less, and finally they concluded that the boy had renal failure. So they have shifted to the boy to the nearby hospital, Velacheri hospital, the Mehta hospital, so called Mehta hospital, where they put the boy with the ventilator, because he was earlier suffering from asthma for the past 2 years, and he was under treatment. That is Asthalin nebulizer he was given, and this boy had already breathlessness complaints. So he was put under ventilator and continuously and closely monitored in the ICU. So later on, the boy's conditions and parameters like a pulse and BP and respiratory rate and everything were normal, but suddenly they found that something wrong with the system of respiratory system. Then they took an X-ray and they found there are something wrong in there are some identification marks or patches on the X-ray, and then they took the throat swab and nasal swab, sent it to Penang Institute of Preventive Medicine, Guindy. There it was tested and found to be positive. So meanwhile, the boy's other conditions deteriorated, and the boy died today, the morning 8 o'clock, 8:30, and it is a very sorry state of affair, and the young 4-year-old boy's death is really a concern for the family, not only to the family but also to the department and the government, and we are seriously analyze the cause of death. And we conclude that the cause of death is due to a multi-organ failure. The hospital report says that he had already a respiratory infection or the respiratory difficulties and distress, and there is less urine output and followed by the diarrhea, and all these things caused the death of the boy, 4-year-old boy. So maybe the H1N1 infection may be a co-infection. And accidentally we found that his brother is also suffering from the AH1 infection. It was tested positive, and we are putting them under quarantine as a house quarantine, and there is no other history, the boy contact with the other infected persons, except his father gone to Singapore, returned 1 month back, and that may be the reason or the contact or the source of infection.
But Dr. Ilango, in fact, we have reports that his father had actually tested negative for H1N1.
Yeah, that is in public health perspective or an epidemiological relevance. There are two factors are important, two entities are important in the transmission of any disease. Number one, especially communicable infectious disease. The one is the case is will suffer, and they will harbor the agent factors or agents like either the bacteria or the virus, and they will transmit even after treatment, even after the treatment. The other entity is the carriers. The carriers are the one who don't suffer from the infection, they don't have any signs and symptoms, but they will go on transmit the agent, the disease. So that is known as a carrier stage. For example, in one of the situation, the typhoid Mary transmitted the typhoid, but actually she didn't suffer from the disease. She was a cook in the UK and transmitted the disease for more than about 40 years. More than about hundreds of the food consumed by served by the typhoid Mary got typhoid fever. That is the only thing, and evidence on the medical record says that is a carrier stage. They won't suffer, but they will go on transmit the disease.